thing that hasn't happened before. We do care about our clubs, our associations, and we do care about our football players. And I hope that you always remember that. We're not a standoffish body, we're just like yourselves, except we've been pushed into prominence. I'm a very lucky man. I do very little work, but I have an awful lot of people like Peter Bentley here, they do the work for me, but I get all the praise. I would just say this before stopping, that we are now supposed to be making a profit. We've got so many people in. I already have my profit, made a great profit from Lillishall, and that profit is that 2 players, one with the Football League First Division side, another with the Second Division side, who were told a year ago that they were finished, would never play again, careers were finished, nothing, didn't know how to start off, are now back playing in their first teams. That's a great profit indeed. So now, it's been very good to be with you. I hope you're enjoying yourself as well as my wife and I are. I know that you've been eating very well, and some of you have been having the odd drink or two. But remember, if you have to go, very carefully. Because I remember a fellow who left a dinner like this, and he hadn't gone very far to the front of the police station. He was stopped by police and asked to come in. And his police sergeant said, well, now just blow into this little bag and we'll just see whether you've been drinking or not. He said, oh, I can't do that. He said, why not? He said, I've got asthma. Can't blow into that. Well, I said, never mind, we'll get a sample of your water and test that. Oh, I can't do that. Why not? I'm a diabetic. Oh, well, that's all right. The doctor will be coming. He'll take a little blood. That'll finish it. Oh, no, I'm not going to let him do that. Why not? She says, I'm a haemophilic. By this time, the sergeant went to his wit end, so he drew a line on the floor, with a piece of chalk. He said, well, walk along that line. He said, oh, I can't do that. He said, why not? He said, I'm too bloody drunk. Well, now, again, thank you very much for having us at this party. I hope you now know that the Football Association is somebody that belongs to you, something that belongs to you, composed of people just like yourselves. Enjoy yourselves tonight, as we are, and might I wish this great club of yours, I think it's a great club, I wish them another 100 years of happiness and good football. Thank you very much.
Along with our good fortune this evening and having such representation from the Football Association, official at a high standard, we're also very proud to have with us this evening the chairman of the Sussex County League. During his hard-working days in this post and prior to it, the game of football in Sussex has greatly improved on and off of the field. Our next guest tonight has been responsible for a tremendous amount of this work. Would you please welcome the chairman of the County League, Mr. Peter Bentley.
Mr. Chairman, fellow guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I can see what you mean, Mick. You can't see your notes very well, can you? First of all, Newhaven Football Club, can I thank you for inviting us all here this evening. It's a great pleasure to be with you. I hope some of us survive to be with you for the next one. I'm sure you look forward to it. They say that little people take a long time to go, so it's a fair bet. Thank you for the nice things that have already been said about the County League. I'm very proud and very conscious of the fact that I sit at the head of what I consider at most times as a happy family. If you'll forgive me, some of you, for just delving into a little bit of history, but before I came out, because it's my duty so to do, I look into the back of the County League handbook and see that we started in 1920-21 and Newhaven Football Club were part and parcel of that start. They have been in the County League ever since. When I look around, I can see 1 or 2 players who I think were probably playing then. I think It took a few years before, I think it took to 1953-54 before Newhaven won the title for the first time, and have only done it on a very few occasions, which I find rather surprising for a club that can sport an evening like this with a lot of people here. But I think Newhaven Football Club has one or two claims to fame that I'd like to highlight for you. I think, as I've mentioned earlier, with due respect to Mick, he's the biggest chairman in the County League. He knows and I know that we have one or two unique things in Newhaven Football Club. You may not be aware of it, but you have the longest serving manager in Mick Pooley. Now, if you'll excuse me for pinching Andy Naylor's headline tomorrow, earlier on a photograph was taken of Mick shaking hands with Tommy Docherty, and tomorrow night's headline in the Evening Argus is Mick Pooley's job under threat. One of the other claims to fame, for my sins on Saturday nights and Sunday mornings, I change fixtures when there are cup draws and things like that, and I end up phoning people. Now, from time to time, and it would be wrong of me not to pay tribute on behalf of all the clubs to the efforts carried out by Frank Dixon on your behalf, one of the quiet men of Sussex football, but he does a tremendous job for you as a club. But on Sunday mornings, when I make phone calls to say, no, you're not at Little Common, you're at Bosham instead, sometimes I can't get an answer on Frank's phone, so I have to phone Mick. And I do congratulate Newhaven for being the only club that has a secretary who has a dog that answers the phone when he's not there. I think the other main claim to fame that Newhaven have got is that you are one of the few clubs around the county that have not been managed either by Alan Pook or Barry Yule. And long may it stay that way. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to hear from me too much. You've heard one fella that almost needs an interpreter. I'm here as the local fella, so at least you've got someone you can understand. Mick and I share this part of the country. I don't know what it is about Scotsmen, but they seem to like to come to England. They seem to get around a bit. We are fortunate in Sussex with Dr. John, one of the most respected figures in football. As a guest here this evening, despite all the nonsense that we read in the papers, you are honoured by a gentleman coming here this evening that has respect throughout the football world, not just in these couple of countries we've got here. And I feel very humble to be in such company. I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for inviting me here. I hope you continue to go from success to success, because I think that over the years Newhaven haven't aspired to the heights. However, this year, all the players that play now, I am sure will know that we have a very tight Division 2 situation. Now, I think you can repay some of the debt that you owe to one or two of these people around here, and get your heads down. Division 2 is open, there is a door beckoning, it's up to you. And the way that you can do that is to get yourself up back in the top flight. It is some 12 years since you were in Division 1. Perhaps you ought to find your way back there rather quickly. Thank you for inviting me here. It is my pleasure to propose the toast of Newhaven Football Club, and in so doing, not just the toast now, but for the fellas that 100 years ago had the good sense to get together and form a football club, for those present that are doing all they can to keep you on the map, in some cases not with a great deal of help from the local councils. You are not one of the fortunate clubs. If I can just take 10 seconds to say, when I see a team like Broadbridge Heath, a struggling side in Division 3, given a set of floodlights and a new pitch by their local council, perhaps someone can take a little gentle hint from that. But over the years, from a century ago to the present day and to the future, it is my pleasure and privilege to propose to you the toast of Newhaven Football Club. To the past, the present and the future, Newhaven.
Yes, as already this year we've adopted Newhaven Lifeboat as our charity, and throughout not only 1987, we're managing to stretch our centenary to the last 18 months to get the best out of the town that we can. But certainly tonight it's a great pleasure to welcome Len Patton and his wife on behalf of Newhaven Lifeboat. And we'd like Len to receive a first instalment from Newhaven Football Club of £250, courtesy of the raffle that you supported. So Len,
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not named for a speech. Lifeboat coxswains are not renowned for their speech making, but at least I'm speaking the Queen's English, which is a bit of a novelty this evening. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, I would just like to say, on behalf of the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, have you got a boat, sir? Bring it to Newhaven, we'll sort you out. On behalf of the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, I'd like to thank you all for the efforts being put into this evening and the raising of this fantastic sum of money for the RNLI. While I'm here, I would just like to get just a little bit nostalgic for a couple of minutes. I'm obviously here as the lifeboat coxswain, but I've also been associated with the Newhaven Football Club for a number of years. Not only do I live right next door to the ground, so I can hear the blood-curdling cries on a Saturday afternoon, but I am associated with the club in other ways. Two of my older brothers, George and Brian, played for the club. George, some of you may know, he was the second coxswain on the lifeboat, and he is now in Canada. I don't know what went wrong as far as the football was concerned, but he's now over in Vancouver Island, and he sends you all his regards. He knows this event is taking place, and he would like to be remembered to you all, and especially to Dr. John, this great servant of Sussex football. I don't know where Brian is. He's probably under the table somewhere, trying to find out his left foot from his right foot. But, I did actually play one game of football for Newhaven Football Club about 30 years ago. They were very, very short, needless to say, especially as I actually lived in Southampton at the time. I won't tell you what name I played under that day because there are members of the league here on it. But obviously there is a connection, a strong connection between the Newhaven Football Club and the Newhaven Lifeboat. For 100 years there have obviously been members of the lifeboat crew who have actually played football for Newhaven. And so it's a great association. We thank you for sponsoring us this year with your fundraising. I don't think, well, I have heard that the Newhaven Lifeboat has been launched on a couple of occasions when the ball's finished up in the harbour. Probably Billy Ince was playing that day. But there's no truth at all in the rumour that the lifeboat was used to find the centre spot on a couple of rainy days. I rather hesitate to mention that the fact that I'm also a Class 1 referee. Referees have been let off lightly this evening so far, but I did have the privilege on several occasions, due to somebody's warped sense of humour, to referee Newhaven in the County League. And as I only lived 100 yards from the pitch, you can imagine that that was rather a difficult situation as far as the opposing team was concerned. I took a bit of stick, of course, as all referees do, especially from little Sammy. I hope Sammy's not here this evening. I'm sure he's not here this evening. Take his camera with him, is he? I could prove my parentage. I don't need a white stick even now, and this was about 20 years ago. But things got too hot when the referee secretary at the time, I think it was Sid Vickers then, I don't know if he's still doing the job. As he is, yes, good, another great servant of Sussex football, Sid Vickers. He used to allocate the referees to these matches, and as I say, he gave me Newhaven against Lewis, Newhaven against Piddinghoe, real great Saturday afternoon entertainment. But anyway, I'd like to thank you very much for inviting myself and my wife along here this evening and for presenting this with this wonderful cheque. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks a lot then. If I can just keep you patient for a little longer, I'd like, if we can, to draw the winning tickets for the raffle. Before I do that, just to repeat again, great thanks to Brian Clark and Bright Light Windows for supporting us so kindly. In addition to that, there are a number of other people who have kindly donated prizes. Thank you very much if you have. Thank you also for those people who have been patiently selling tickets as I've cajoled them for the last couple of months, and for all of you, of course, who have purchased tickets, and of course there are two ladies tonight who managed to scrape out something like another £150 out of you this evening. I think it's been very difficult to calculate how much we've actually made on the raffle in total, but it looks to be something like about £600 or £700, so a worthy effort. As I say, 50% of everything we make this year is going to the lifeboat, so then there will be more money forthcoming. If we could start then, if I can ask Brian to come forward and help draw the winning tickets, and we will try and get through them fairly quickly. So if there are winners here tonight, and obviously there may be people who bought tickets who aren't present, perhaps they can collect their prizes at the end of the draw, because I'm sure you're all anxious to get to the bar now. Okay, here we go. Hope they don't all come out. The first prize then, as you probably know, is the hostess trolley. I know Adam was asking which of the ladies was the hostess as they were selling tickets. Was it you, Cheryl? I'm not sure. Ticket number is 3481. It looks like Mrs. J. Lees. Is she here tonight? So that's the winner of the hostess trolley. Now, well done. Is she here? Yes, Sandy's wife. I just realised who it is now. Well done. Our next 5 prizes, it may seem a little bit of embarrassment, but if I can explain, and this will probably emphasise how grateful we are to Bright Light Windows. Originally they did donate it to us as prizes, 5 of the vouchers that you've all seen this evening. And it was a total surprise that they came around with an additional set of vouchers for every couple here tonight. So I'm sure there may be people who will win an extra voucher here. Hopefully they'll go to people who aren't here. Which would be nice, but here we go. 5 second prizes then of holiday vouchers, donated by Bright Light again. The first one is ticket 3535, and it's M. Allen. The second one is 1862, I hate to pronounce this, but it looks like P. Siganik of Arcacia Court in Brighton. The third one is 4905, Mrs. Palmer. Looks like we're missing a few games this season, Steve. Still, there are only 17 games. Where are we up to? Fourth one, isn't it? Yes, 4593, Mr. I don't know whether it's Mr. Wogan, it can't be. Mr. Wogan? I thought Terry had arrived. And number 5 is 2608, Mrs. Gilman of Newhaven. Right, our next prize is a turkey donated by Jeff McTippin of Juniper Poultry. I think it is Jeff, isn't it? Yes?
Two left legs, Chef.
Keep it going, Brian. You're going to earn your dinner anyhow. And the winner is 4879 J. O'Donnell. Next one is a basket of fruit. Billy Collinson has kindly donated. I did say we'd try and get your winning ticket, but it's worse than the writing I have to read at work. It couldn't be Georgians, could it? 4 treble 5, is it? 4 treble